Co over 50 makeup, and I'm super excited tonight because we're going to do a copy this look, which I haven't done in so long. And fall colors are my favorite palette colors. I don't know about you, let me know. But we are going to do a eyeshadow look with these gorgeous shades and use these two lip and cheek colors. And hopefully this is something that you would like to try yourself. So welcome as you join me. I'm going to give it just a minute or two because always there's always that delay, and then I'll probably repeat myself again. But I already put my makeup on. I already have my eyebrows done. I already put my mascara on. I already did my full face of makeup, added some bronzer, and then we're going to do the eyes and lips and cheeks. So excellent. And it's so nice here today. It is beautiful out. I think we're going to get snow tomorrow, but for right now, it's really nice. And there's actually light coming in my window. It's so nice. It's not dark, which is weird for 4:30 in the afternoon. So welcome. Hi, Robin. Hi, Doris. Thanks for joining. So this is a copy this look live where I try to put together and kind of coordinate some eyeshadows and a couple lip and cheek. And if you're not familiar, this product, the product line I'm using, yeah, yikes, snow, is from the company Seint. So it's S-E-I-N-T, and that's the brand. So I have a link down here if you're interested to kind of shop any of these colors. You can click on that and shop it, which is kind of fun too, and check it out and see what these colors are like and things like that. So, but tonight I'm going to get going because it is so beautiful out right now. Take advantage of this natural light that we have. So hi, Janine. Hi, Priscilla. All right. So as you come on, yeah, definitely say hi. Let me know what you think of these colors and let's get started. So as I said at the beginning, I already have my makeup on, my bronzer, my 3D foundation, but no eyeshadow. Brows done, mascara on. We talked about that the other day. All right, so let's do eyes first. Okay, so I didn't do either eye because I figured we'll do them together, both of them. All right, so I'm gonna grab my favorite eyeshadow brush. This is also from the brand Seint. It's a double-ended brush. I like it because it's got a nice fluffy kind of fluted end. That's great for diffusing color, for blending. You can pat color on. And then it has a smaller kind of more condensed, almost like a pencil eraser or a little bunny tail end. Great for smudging, great for, smudge eyelining, great for packing in color, things like that. So we're going to use this brush to get started. The four eyeshadow colors I have here are Sedona. So this color here is called Sedona, and it is kind of, it's a very earthy color. It is a matte, so it's very, very pretty. It's a great neutral matte shade. So it's not too dark, it's not too light. It's a great transition shade, and that's what we're gonna use. Call this kind of like your transition shade. Oh, you're trying to guess. Okay, Robin. Coco, Ginger, Bubba. Tango, Frenchie. Okay, you got Tango and Frenchie right. Good job. So Sedona first, right here. Then I have a shimmer shade, number 33. It's so fun to play with greens. And a lot of times we don't do that, but look at that pack of that shimmer. The Seint eyeshadows are so highly pigmented, so it's amazing how they go on. They're absolutely beautiful, okay? Then we're gonna use a shade called Foxy. This one is also a shimmer shade. It's a very nice shimmer shade. It's a nice neutral again, so we're kind of playing off of those colors. So we've got Sedona, number 33. It's like the hashtag 33 is the name of it. And then Foxy, F-O-X-Y. And then the last one I'm going to use as a liner and to add some extra definition is Coco, which is kind of a warm brown, which is kind of nice. So it's just a nice, again, nice pretty brown. So those are our eyeshadow shades. I'll let you look at those for a second. Yes, I think those are pretty. Hi, Pat. Hi, Jane. Right? Yes, it's rolling by. So if I missed you, gals, saying hi, hello, hello. Then we're going to use Frenchie, which is a satin lip and cheek. So let me put it across the top here. Isn't that pretty? And then Tango is a glossy lip and cheek, and it is it's also kind of peachy, but it has a bit of pink to it. So this is our palette that we're going to be working with tonight. I think it's really pretty. I think it's perfect for fall, and that's what we're going to do. Oh, I'm glad you love them. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let me see if I can pin something here. Let me try something real quick. I've done this before, but I'm going to see if I can do it again. See if I can pin that link. So we have something new now. Pin it. I'm going to pin it as a comment. Okay, so I just pinned the link that has all of these colors in it. And it's kind of neat that way because if you already have an account, you can, sign in and look at the different colors later. But that's the link to this. And then also I have a free resource. Hi, Iris. You know me and my little number and letter code. So 1L, so for L for look, but it's 1 and the letter L. If you comment that, it'll send you out my free resource, which includes a bunch of, everything, all the colors, the names, how to do it, the directions and all that. So you're welcome to grab that free resource as well, and it'll get sent to your message. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is the transition shade, which usually is the shade that we're going to put in our crease, our natural crease, and then up a bit onto our brow, and then maybe even flicking it up here a little bit. You can also pull it across. So we're going to do that one first. And so we are doing the Sedona. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to pounce into it and then tap off the little bit of excess. And the first thing I want to do is tip my head back. I just think this is easy to get in the habit of it. Even if you don't have super hooded eyes, this really helps you see and get good placement. So we're going to place it right there at the base of my crease, right? And then I like to start pressing and tapping that right in to my natural crease. Okay, so you can see that color. Isn't that pretty? So we're pressing it, and I like to start by pressing it first. Again, we've talked about this in other videos and lives. If we have more crepey eyelids, thinner eyelids, sometimes when we do the wiping or the swiping across like this, if you do little tiny ones, I think it works great. So if you're doing that, but the full swiping, sometimes it gets a little patchy or it may skip over some of the texture. Now, once you have it in your crease, then look forward and see what you can see. Okay, if you need to add a little bit more, or if you want to add a little bit more, go back in and then look forward into the mirror and then start placing some color actually on the brow bone above your natural crease. So I'm kind of tapping, or I'm doing these little tiny mini little dashes, like little mini strokes, I guess, and then pull that across. And then once you kind of get that the way you want it, you can take that brush, and because it's fluted on the end, if you do these little tiny circles from the outside in, this will help just kind of diffuse the color if you feel like you're too dark in a certain area. So just little tiny circles, I'm coming across, and then I'm moving up above. And then a nice thing you can do is then take this brush and just start to kind of flick that towards the end, this color up, just up a bit. So we're just kind of flicking that towards the end of your brow, and I'm just doing those light little feathers. I'm not adding more color. I'm just trying to diffuse and soften any harsh lines and get that base shade kind of built up. Okay, so let's do the other side. The tapping back in, tap off the excess, tilt your head back, drop that eyeshadow brush right into the outer lower part of the crease, and then again, you don't have to start tapping, but I feel like it really helps push it into my crease, and I can see that it's going in there, okay? Tilting my head back, and again, then you can do these little tiny strokes, or if you don't have any texture to your eyes, you can actually do this. I like to call it a half windshield wipe, where I'm not going back and forth, but I'm actually just staying here and coming in. So those are different ways you can apply. Then once you get that crease in there, the depth that you want, add a little bit more if you want, and then look ahead and decide, okay, I want to make it kind of match. I want to pull a little bit just as the brow, right above where the brow bone starts, above my natural crease. Especially if you have hooded eyes, you want to do that. Yep. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Rose. Thank you, Robin. It is a pretty color. Isn't Sedona a pretty color? It's a very nice, just a beautiful fall neutral shade. I think it's really nice. Okay, so now same thing that we did over here. I'm going to just take little tiny circular, let that eyeshadow brush very lightly, light-handed, don't rub too hard, but just kind of let it diffuse. Let it start to soften those lines, kind of the outer part of those fluffy brushes tend to diffuse them, meaning it's just, see how that does that? See how that just did that? So as you're going along, the outer fluted edges of that brush, when you're just lightly doing that, it's going to pick that color up and just start to lightly bring that up. So you're not getting a ton of color up here. And then you can do this little flicking motion just to pull some color up towards, to kind of start lifting this part of your eye. And it's funny, it looks like it's not doing anything when I do this motion, but when you're done and you look ahead, you're like, oh, yeah, it is kind of lifting that color up. Right. Hey, Linda, you're okay. Come on in. Hello. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we have that as our transition or our crease shade. Okay, so now I'm going to take this shade here. Oh, and by the way, I had primed my eyelids already. I forgot to tell you that, but I had already done that where I had color corrected and put some powder over my eyelids, and so those had they were primed. You could do that way, or you can also prime your eyelids with an actual eyelid primer, like something that's made for eyeshadow priming, okay? But I always said you never had to do it, and I was wrong. So it really makes a difference. So I'm always learning too. So now I'm gonna take my finger and make sure, obviously that your fingers are clean, but grab a little bit of this color, the Foxy, which, like I said, is a really pretty, that's this one here. And I'm going to tap it and press it right on my lid. Now, the nice thing is that this color isn't too light and it isn't too dark, and it's a shimmer. So I can get away with putting it kind of almost all the way across my lid as my lid shade. But if you tap it and press it in, you really can push that pigment in and really get a pop of pigment by pressing it with your finger. Yeah, oh, yes, very good. Yeah, let the gals know that, Robin, that Sedona and Holly are gorgeous together. So many fun colors. So we're packing that in. I like using my finger with shimmer shades because, like I said, it really does help, especially when you're applying it to a larger area like this on your lid. It really helps to tap it on, press it in, and then you can decide, do I want to keep building that pigment? Do I want just a little hint of it? But I think when you have this one's called Foxy, a shimmer shade on your lid that isn't too light and isn't too dark, you avoid seeing a lot of that texture. And so you can kind of bring it to the outer and the inner. And then right here where, it's just kind of blending a little bit towards the outside with that Sedona, you can just even tap with your finger to just lightly kind of blend those two. All right, what do you think of those two together? I could say even that's really pretty, right? It's like a monochromatic, really soft eyeshadow look just with Sedona and the Foxy together. But let's have some fun and let's go get some of this green. This just reminds me like of a pumpkin patch, right? Or the fall, the green leaves turning fall to brown, all of those fun colors. So I'm gonna I haven't done this yet, so you're doing this with me. I'm like doing this look. I didn't practice it ahead of time, but we're going to now take the green shimmer. This is number 33. That's the name of it. It's like the hashtag, the number sign 33. That's what that one is. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. Hey, Lori. Hey, Kathy. And we're going to take the stubby end because that's going to pack on a little bit more color. And we're going to use that. Do I want to use that? No, maybe you know what? Hang on. Don't listen to what I said. I think I'm going to use this end when I do my liner, like a smudgy kind of liner. So I'm going to try it with this end first, and we'll see how much color we can pack in with this end. So I'm going to pick up again this color here. This is the green shimmer. Let's get enough on there. Even though it looks so dark, you really do have to press it on, and it's going to go right out here in this outer corner. So I may have to switch, but we'll give it a try. So let me pick up a little, and I'm gonna actually press it right here in the outer, that little outer V. So kind of in the outer corner, I'm pressing See that color? So it's not too garish. It's not too green like it is on my hand, because it's actually mixing with a little bit of the colors that are underneath, and we're kind of creating a little bit more of a softer kind of green, but we're adding some depth here, right? Hey, Kathy. Hi, Teresa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm pushing and I'm pressing that in this outer corner. So it's kind of like this V. So like this kind of V shape here. So that's really pretty. I think what I'll do then is we'll just take that brush and we'll just do a little bit of that little swirly, that little diffusing, letting it kind of just, and little flicks to let that just diffuse. And where those two colors meet, we'll tap over where those two colors are meeting, where the Foxy and the green. So that's kind of pretty. It's dark. It's dark. I might try to add a little bit of vibrancy with switching to that side of the brush, the stubby end, just so that we can see some of the green, because I don't want it to turn muddy. So I'm going to take a little bit here and just pack a little bit of that right just there. There we go. Now we can see. I don't want it to get too muddy with those other colors. So there we go. Now we can see some of that green. Okay. All right. So that's kind of fun. Let's do the other side. Maybe I better do the same thing just so I don't end up with two different looks. And then we're going to blend here in the middle, but let's go back in with the fluffy end first. And I'm going to come this way and just press kind of in this outer V. Maybe I'll go this way with my hand. And I'm pressing some of that green. So you can see I'm kind of going in this V shape, down and then across and then up, just to get a little bit of that color on. You may find also another way to pack on color like this. Again, we can switch over to the stubby end of the eyeshadow brush and press it here just to build up that green, so we see a little bit more of the green. And then we'll do a little blending. So we can actually blend with our finger. We can take our finger and tap over that a little bit if we want to. Again, if you have crepey eyes or have thinner eyes, this will help kind of pack that color in between some of the wrinkles and things like that. So that helps. Another way, if you wanted to like pack on really get a lot of punch for your money, is to take like the Multitasker brush, this flat brush here. Let me pick up the one that's for my eyes. This one I use on my lips. Let me grab this one. So here, press in. So anytime you can press the shadows on, press them on, you're going to get a lot more color. Look at that. So I know I have a lot on, but I just want you to see how pretty those colors can be. So you could, really, this could be more of, a nighttime look or a holiday look. But even for the day, let's go ahead and tone it down. So I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to just lightly do a little bit of that blending. So starting from the outside and just keeping my brush, my hand nice and loose, loosey-goosey, and just do a little bit of this softening. So I'm starting from the outside and pulling that color in, keeping it real loose, and just little tiny swirls. You can also, like you say, do just a little bit of this kind of flicking where the two meet. So a little bit of blending, definitely. I know I'm guilty when I close my eyes. I want to see so if I close my eyes, gals, let me know, because my eyes are closed. Let me see if I can open one. If I close my eyes, I don't want to see like strips of color that aren't, green, this color, this color. I mean, that's the hardest part, I think. And let me know if you feel the same way. But I think the hardest part for me is blending. And it takes the longest. And I'm always in a rush, to go 100 miles an hour. So I think if you, so between here and here, maybe if I just, if we just tap where those two meet, you are swirling with the smaller end of the let's see, you're swirling with the smaller end of the eyeshadow brush. This is the bigger end. The bigger end, I'm doing the swirling. Here's the small end. The small end, I kind of packed it in, but the bigger end, the end that flutes out here and it gets nice and kind of goes from like poofs out at the end. That one, when you do really tiny little swirls, it's almost like, I want to say like a car wash thing, you know, like where the rag catches the outside and the inside kind of scrubs a little harder, but the looser ends on the outside just kind of touch lightly. And that's what we're doing, is little circular moments or movements, not moments. Well, we're in the moment, but okay. So again, just blending. And I want you to see, you know, I'm going back and forth between each eye, just kind of checking. And again, this is a little bit more like it's a 4 eyeshadow look. So it's not like one of our easy 2 eyeshadow looks. But at the beginning, I thought that was really pretty just to do these 2 together. That's a real simple eyeshadow look. Let's say you want to take it up a notch and have fun, then you can add this number 33 in. Yeah, blending, Robin, right. It's a lot. Just blending, blending, blending. Okay, so let's say that's good. And we're going to clean up here when we're all done. Do you ever use the smudge brush to blend? Sometimes I can't get lines to all blend. Yeah, so the smudge brush, sometimes I do. It's a little bit bigger, so sometimes I'm not able to get into the area that I want. But yes, sometimes the smudge brush is nice, especially for packing color on. And so really the smudge brush would work. And that one, if you don't know, it's like a more dense brush, 2 ends, one's more paddle-like, but it's like this, but a little bit bigger and more kind of like a paddle. So you can really, you know, smudge it across, or you can pack it in, pack color in. And then, yeah, definitely you could use that to do the blending like this, you know, pressing and blend for sure. Speaking of that, I'm actually gonna, I don't know where my eyeshadow little cleaner foam is, but I'm just gonna rub this off on a little microfiber towel I have here. Just get a little bit of the green off. And I'm gonna take some of this darker color, this Coco, and let's play around with maybe just adding a little of a smudgy liner underneath in the brown and a little on the top. Okay, let's just see what that looks like. And then I thought on this eye, we will do, we'll take some balm and we'll actually do more of a thinner, kind of like a gel liner where I mix or dampen my brush or mix my brush with a little bit of a clear cream like the balm with this Coco color. So let's do this side first. I have a tough time with this, is the smudging without getting a bunch. So I'm gonna tap in, pick up a little bit, tap off so I don't get any fallout. And I'm gonna hold my hand. So this is the color we're working on right now. And I'm gonna pull this gently. And I'm gonna just kind of run that and smudge it along my lashes. So it's not too, it's easy on the top. I don't know if you can see it there. The part I have the hardest time with, I'm gonna tap in again, is smudging it underneath. Okay, so I'm gonna start on the outside and go underneath my lashes. I'm just lightly rubbing it back and forth and back and forth. And then you just kind of get a little bit of depth underneath. Okay, so that's fun. So let's do this side with more of a defined line. So we're gonna turn this into like a gel liner. And so I'm just taking the brush I use for my eyes and I'm gonna pick up, this is the Multitasker. Again, we used it, see the green here to pack on color, but we can take the smaller end here and kind of use it like a liner. This is a balm, but you could also just wet your brush lightly with a little water. You can wet your brush lightly with a little setting spray and then pick a color that you like. Like I say, we're using this brown and pick it up. So you coat the brush and now you kind of have this like a gel, like a liner on your brush. You see that? Look at how I can line with it. So now I've kind of created this eyeliner. Isn't that great? So that's really fun. So now if you like more of a distinct line and you don't want to buy tons of different eyeliner pens or gel pens, just use your eyeshadows that you have and coordinate it all together. So over here, I always have to hold my eye taunt and then we're going to clean everything up when we're done. But I'm just going to come out from the outside. Can you see it there? And down. And I like to come in about 3/4 of the way. So I do just putting it down here, just a little bit of that brown. There we go. I can see it here. And yes, the new edge brush that's coming out. It's going to be so cool. Okay, obviously I don't have it, but we have a new brush coming out called what? Yeah, you know it, Janine, the Edge brush. And it's going to be a little bit more of a squared off end, and what you're going to be able to do is actually stamp. So a lot of times what works really good is when you take the tip of something, it's going to be a flat tip, and you tap it in and you stamp your eyeliner on. It's really cool stamping that. So that's going to be so really, really fun. I can't wait for that brush. So if you don't know what we're talking about, our holiday sale is coming up November 2nd. And if you go back, I don't know if I posted, have I posted here on this page? I know I've posted in the VIP customer group, all of the pictures and everything, but I'll post that here if I haven't yet. If you haven't seen it, there are a bunch of really fun things coming out for that holiday sale. New holiday releases, November 2nd. So let's put some on the bottom. So I like to just do the bottom, just this outer corner. But here's another fun thing you do when you actually make it like a liner, is you can actually start out here and kind of make a little, like a little cat eye. See that there? Just a little wing. So it's real subtle, but just kind of, it's not going this way, but it's kind of going up. I don't know if you can see that along the bottom. So I kind of start here and then just pull it down under. Okay, so that's really fun. So now, what kind of mess have I made? Let's clean up some of this outer stuff. And if this is too much for you, obviously you don't need to pack on all that color. Hi, Dana. You can do a lot less. You can be a lot lighter handed. You don't have to do such an intense look with all the colors. And if you get too much, like you say, you can just keep blending to soften and pull that color and just kind of keep blending. So I put a lot on because I wanted you to see how pretty those colors work together. But let's clean up this part here. So if for some reason you start to, as you're applying, which happens to all of us, your eyeshadow, and from the end of your eyelashes to the end of your brow. So if there's anything that comes down past this little line, this demarcation line, this border, then what it does is it makes your eye look droop like this. It kind of makes your eye look downturned, and we want everything to look more up, right? So I'm going to clean that up. I'm just going to take, I don't know, I'm not going to use my light color because I don't like to get a super light, bright color, like the color I use to like highlight my nose or highlight the inside of my eye kind of thing. I don't want to put that right there because of all this texture. So I'll probably just use like my main, like a main shade or something. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So what I'll do is did I not leave a brush out to do that? Hang on, let me grab one. Well, here we go. Here's the smudge brush. It's kind of dirty, but that's what we were talking about. Let's grab that. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of just kind of whatever my highlight shades were, and I'm going to come out here and I'm just going to swipe that up. So just kind of swipe some color there if I need to clean that up. Just kind of lift that up a bit. So that already, you can tap over it if you need to, but that already has kind of given a little bit more of a lift. So let me do this side, if I can see what I'm doing here. And just kind of clean that up. Kind of even push it in if I need to. And that might have even been too dark. I might have had to go a little bit lighter, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Just kind of give it a lift. I can take my perfector sponge too and just press over here to remove anything. You can also take, if you needed to, you can take a little Q-tip there we go. See, that's already looking a lot. See that, how we removed some of this? And I'm just pressing. You can also take a Q-tip with a little bit of like eye makeup remover and just lightly swipe it up, and you'll just get this perfect crisp little line. So that does help to clean it up. Okay, all right. So just to recap, yeah, that's really pretty. Those are pretty colors. We used Sedona and Foxy, which is a shimmer, and the number 33, which is a shimmer, and then the Coco to kind of smudge on this side. And then over here, we did more of a distinct liner. And now we'll go ahead and show you, I like to mix shades, but this is one of the shades of the season. This is Tango. So I wanted to show you the comparison. So here's Frenchie, right? Here's Frenchie. Frenchie is a peach satin, kind of more of a matte satin. And here's Tango. Let's see if I can turn my hand. Tango has it's still kind of peachy, but I think it has a bit of pink and it's glossy. So I'm going to mix them together because I love to mix, and I think that's a great way to make your product go farther and make it more, hi Maxine, make it more universal, multi-purpose, all that stuff. So I'm going to pick up the Frenchie and just put like 3 dots there. And then I'll grab a little bit of the Tango because it has a little bit more of that cooler pink, a little bit. I mean, it's still peachy, but I feel like it's a bit cooler, and mix those. And then we'll just take like end of your blush and bronzer brush or just one of your blending brushes and just tap over to mix kind of those colors together. So you get a little bit of the gloss, a little bit of the peachy. You can pull it in if you want a fuller cheek. You can stay up and lift it if you want a more lifted cheek. Let's do this side here. So these two are pretty together. And I think it's fun to have colors that are close and, they're kind of close in family, but they're not. Like they're different tones and they're also different formulas. So mixing a satin with a glossy is going to give a really totally different look. Oh, good. I have a lot on, but I tend to put a lot of color on when I'm demoing because it's hard for it to come across for you gals to see the color. So it's more than I would probably do like if I was just wearing it and not trying to show you the colors, but sometimes it's hard to see them, it depends on the camera and things like that. I'm going to take the other side of my blush and bronzer brush and just diffuse that a little bit. Okay. All right. So that's really pretty together. So that's Frenchie with Tango. And I think Tango is different enough. Like I said, it's different enough from Frenchie and some of the other colors. I just really think it's a pretty color. All right. So lip wise, let me grab my lip brush. And same thing, I can pick up a little bit of the Frenchie, which to me by itself, you tell me, you gals tell me your opinion. Not just what's on my lips, but if you have Frenchie yourself. Let me put it on. So this is the Multitasker brush. I have one for my lips and kind of one for my eyes. And if you only have one, just make sure you are cleaning before you go between your mouth and your eyes. So Frenchie by itself, I mean, I like it, but what do you gals think? I think sometimes just on my lips by itself, it's not as chalky as some of the other satin colors, like the really light pink satin shades. But I feel like sometimes it can be a little bit, yes, Pat, exactly. Thank you. I totally agree. A little bit on its own, depending on your skin tone and your coloring, I feel like it can be a little bit chalky. A little chalky, I mean more like kind of flat. But when you put a complementary or a contrasting shade, and definitely if it's a glossy over the top, I think that makes a big difference. So I'm going to take the Tango and put that kind of in the center, patting that on here up top. And I think that gives it just a little bit, that little hint of the cooler tone. And of course the gloss, just if you're not a big fan of matte shades, that gloss really helps, I think. So these are two fun colors to put together. I think they're really great. And I think that helps. I think so too. Yeah. And clear gloss, same. Yes, Maxine, a clear gloss, a clear lip gloss or balm. Your balm, put the balm right over the top as well. Why not, right? Just something to, I do like adding something that has a color to it just because I think the Frenchie sometimes by itself has that, like we talked about, like Pat and I were saying, a little bit of a chalk a little chocolate. So if you can add a little extra color with some gloss, it just really makes it, yeah. But I love it by itself on my cheeks. I love it. I love it as a cheek color by itself. And I've used it also as a cream eyeshadow base. Frenchie is great for that. And one more tip, Frenchie is also great if you have lighter tone skin, if you're like a light skin tone and you have, but you're light skin tone, but you actually have purpley blue under eyes. You can actually, this is a great shade because it's not as orange as mango, but you can actually use it to color correct underneath your eye. So that's something. See how versatile? Janine, washed out. Yes. Yeah, it has a little washed out, but I love it on the cheeks and I love to mix it. And Frenchie is gorgeous to mix with some of your darker red shades. You can make this, really gorgeous, deeper, kind of almost sandstone shades if you don't have those colors. So, all right. So I put the link here. That link takes you to our new list system that we have where you can actually check out this as a list of items. And if you have a Seint account, you would click on that and then you would sign in if you don't automatically, and it'll take you right to this list and you can see all the different colors. And if you were like, oh, I want to grab number 33, I want to get the Tango and something else, you can just add it to your bag and check out and you'll be shopping with me, which is so cool, especially if you're not my customer already. So that's so fun that we can shop on on other artists' pages and support them that way. I just think that's so cool. I love it because we all try to really be positive and support each other. So I think that's great. Janine, yes, for a color corrector, it is really good. Yeah. Under the eye. Frenchie is great too. So